brought to you by Bethel School of Technology. Learn more at betheltech.net/Ken Coleman. So here we go. 4 phrases that mentally strong people never use, and essentially what's behind it. Okay? So we're going to have some fun with it. The first one is inspired by Lady Gaga and her hit song, Baby, I Was Born This Way. And Kelly is in the booth singing that now to the chagrin of everybody in there with her. Hopefully it was on key. Baby, I was born this way. In other words, hey, I am who I am. Popeye, one of my favorite cartoon characters of all time, used to have a version of this. I am what I am, right? You know, we hear this, it is what it is. You know, the idea here is this is who I am, deal with it. There's no responsibility here in this statement. There's no mental toughness. This is actually mental weakness. It is complacency. It is settling instead of owning what's going on and deciding to grow. It's what it is. It's an excuse. It's, you know what? I actually heard a story recently about a leader who was fired. And just before that person was fired, this is testimony somebody gave me. Just before that person was fired, this leader looked at their leader and said, this is how I am. I'm too old to change. This is just the way it is. Wowzers. What? What a stunning lack of humility. Just, I am who I am. This is it. You're going to have to adjust to me. I'm not going to take any responsibility for my actions. I'm not going to take any responsibility for growth. I'm just settling. I'm just going, sorry, too late. Not going to do the work. It is what it is. I am who I am. Baby, I was born this way. And by the way, that song, I'm not picking on Lady Gaga, but that song, you know, promotes this kind of thinking. Yep. This is what it is. This is who I am. Deal with it. Deal with it. No. This is awful. This will absolutely guarantee that you remain stuck emotionally, mentally, professionally, relationally, if you just have this kind of attitude. Second phrase that mentally strong people never use. Why is this happening? Now, I pointed out at the beginning of this that we all say these things and have said these things in moments of weakness, but I'm talking about, this is not something we say and we believe. It's not something we stay with if we're mentally strong. In other words, in a moment of weakness when something bad has happened and you have this thought, and I've had this thought, and you say something like, why has this happened to me? In that moment, you are trying to wrestle with it. But instead of wrestling with it and getting some perspective and understanding what you can about the why, and to the extent that you don't know why and it's just happening to you, you decide to go, you know what, I'm going to deal with it and I'm going to handle it. I'm going to move on. We stay in this why, this loop, this mental loop. And this is where we become victim thinkers. Victim thinkers. It's just, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening? It's okay to wonder why. It is not okay to stay in a unresolved state. Even when you don't know the why, resolve to go, I don't know the why, but I can tell you this, I know the now, and the now is here. And now I've got to deal with the now, and I've got to move forward. So this is victim thinking. Instead of going, it's not the why that we need to soak in, it's the what next? What now? If we're constantly wrestling with the why, we'll never be able to focus on what now, what next. Here's one of my favorites that I experience all the time with my teenagers. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what the inflection is. When someone says, I don't care, They care. You actually care too much. If you are playing this card of, I don't care, you're walking around the office and you're acting detached, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Yes, you do. I don't care is actually, I give up. I don't want to engage with my emotions. I don't want to engage with my thoughts. I don't want to engage with my actions. I don't care is I'm raising the white flag, and in this moment, I'm surrendering. Because when a teenager says, and the teenager's all hung up on something, and you're wrestling with it, and they go, I don't care. They care. And when I say I don't care, I care. You care too much. You care too much. So that's the third one. The fourth one is, this can't fail. Failure, we can't do it. This has got to work. Do you feel the tension in that statement? Mentally strong people don't say that. Because I would tell you what mentally strong people know, and it's one of the reasons they're mentally strong, is that it's probably going to fail on some level. By the way, any product, any business, any successful sports team, I could go on and on and on, will have moments of failure that is not final. You could take a football team, an NFL team. Let's take an NFL team that wins 14, 15 games, and they win a championship. I promise you, there was failure in that season. If nothing else, if we just look at the 2 games, 3 games they lost. They won a lot. Very successful. In spite of, or watch this, as a result of failure. So I tell you what, mentally strong people, they don't say things like, oh, it's got to work. No, it's like, hey, we're going to do everything we can in our power to make it work. We will adjust. We will pivot. We will learn. We will grow. And so in other words, mentally strong people are future thinkers. Mentally weak people are failure and fear thinkers. They're just so afraid. So I would say, mentally, and again, I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying, if you aren't mentally strong, it's because we walk through these as 4 examples. But one of the reasons is you just are always focused on the fear aspect of moving forward. But mentally strong people go, look, there's some crap that's probably going to happen along the way. It is going to scare me to death. I will deal with it when it happens. But, I hate getting scared. I don't know if I'm one of the jumpiest people you've ever met in your life. There's a guy here at the office. He's a leader, Jeremy Breland. We've known each other for 30 plus years. Guy likes to jump out from behind places. I'll be at my desk working, Bob. He'll come up behind me and go, and I just practically come out of my skin. You're enjoying this too much, Nathan. But I am a very confessed jumpy guy. Jumpy. Don't like it. Do not like it. But I was talking to Jeremy about that one time, and he said, and this example just popped in my mind, he goes, you know what's funny about you? He goes, the reason it's so hilarious is because you're never prepared for it. Not that any of us are, but he's like, you're so not prepared for it. He goes, you would think at this point, as much as I've done this to you, that you'd have one eye open. And I'm never prepared for it. You know why? Because I'm not a fearful thinker. I don't default to fear. I default to the future. I'm always thinking about the next. And one of the things that drives me crazy, by the way, is when I'm in a meeting, and the team will tell you this. I cannot stand when we're ideating and somebody starts telling me all the negative reasons why something may not work. Drives me nuts. We may get to that conclusion, but let's start with the potential that it could happen. I'm not a, Pollyanna positive guy. My gosh. What holds us back so much from being mentally tough are voices like this, and underneath all of this is fearful thinking, not future thinking. And there's a big difference. Learn how to do it and watch your growth accelerate. Launch your tech career today at betheltech.net/Ken Coleman.